All right, welcome. First
Hey.
episode. I'm excited, nervous as well, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's a
It's what
company
we're here to
space. It's
talk about.
fine. It's all good. So, the first episode, I thought the topic would be like anxiety and stress when starting with school because, this episode comes out 15th of September. For us, we've already been in school for like a little over a month by then.
Just a month.
Yeah.
We started the 14th, so just a month.
Yeah, basically just a month. But most other schools I know in other areas of like the world also kind of started around this time because they end later. Our school doesn't, but overall, I just thought that it was just a perfect topic to kind of start us off and get used to the rhythm of everything, and you guys getting used to listening to us and so on.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve, right?
Yeah, it's learning curve for everyone,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to going back to school.
So, anxiety and stress.
School.
Starting school.
Yeah.
It's extremely.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a new school environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're, for example, moving countries and you don't know anyone, like, sure, like, it's new, but,
Yeah.
like, it's also terrifying.
Yeah. But, I mean, we can just start off with that. Like, going to, like, a completely new school. Right? I personally have gone to 10 schools in my life. I've moved a lot. That's just kind of the household I was in, so, and my
That
dad's
makes
work.
sense. I think I only went to 5.
Yeah, but overall, you still, like, had to go and readjust and, meet new people. And that can be very scary and different and nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But just, when you're, like, walking for the first time and you're going down this hallway, like, you see people talking to each other and you just feel like you don't fit in at all.
Yeah, because it's like they already have this pre-established group with the inside jokes and the type of way they speak and behave, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I either need to adjust to that or I'm the odd one out.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it causes this like pressure to want to be someone they would like instead of just being yourself.
Yeah. And it might be hard to come out and, like, just completely, like, be yourself. But at the same time, the people that enjoy you the most and you usually feel the happiest with is when you be yourself.
Which is good, because
Yes.
people who don't like someone for their being their true self are just, they suck.
Yeah.
Because like, why would you not want someone just to be themselves around you? That's kind of silly.
It is very silly. But back to the stress and anxiety, I think it does really come from meeting new people, and especially getting into the age of like 13 and 14, and you go from like elementary to maybe you're going to middle school, or just overall getting older in like the last few years of
Secondary
elementary. You start like getting hormones, of course, and so on, and just social media. Well, for us, we didn't grow up with too much of it as a kid. We grew up later when we were like, what, 12, 13?
I
How
grew up
early
with
were you?
social media around age 7.
Wow.
I started way younger. It's because everyone around me was using social media, and I was like, okay, I want to do this too. It seems fun.
Huh.
And so I did. And it's sure it's been fun, but it also caused so much stress when it came to being the outcast. Because in many of my schools, I used to be the one who was like, sure, I was friends with everyone, but I'd never really fit in.
Yeah.
Because I felt that, like, okay, these people obviously are a lot closer than I am to them. I will just feel like garbage the entire time, because I feel like I need to change something of myself to fit in properly. And it sucks. And social media only worsens that. Because, like, then they can, like, create these, like, group chats or whatever, and you can't see it, and they can talk about you, and it's stressful.
Yeah. We already have, like, younger people, like, stressed out with, like,
Oh, yeah.
Social media and everything. And then being put in a spot where, like, you're meeting new people and everyone is already grouped up. And social media also puts us into, like, expectations. Like, we already had movies to already create, like, expectations and groups that you'll see in things like, I don't know, one that's extremely clear is definitely Mean Girls on their groups, right? But then having, like, social media, at least on there you can find your own space, definitely. But in a school environment and being in, like, just a social environment in general, finding yourself to get into a place is really nerve-wracking and can be extremely, like, stressful.
It is very stressful. Because, like, people kind of suck sometimes, especially when you're growing up and like entering those teen years,
Mm-hmm.
because like hormones are already a pain to deal with. Because then you're like, okay, people are doing this. Are they doing it intentionally? Is it like a hormone thing? Is like, you never really know, because like people have to hide stuff, especially like from
Mm-hmm.
their parents, from other teens.
Yeah.
Because teenagers are very secretive people.
And something like we've learned in class in psychology, I think like last year, we learned about how important it is, like first impressions and then how you like exit like a room. We had a whole conversation where we talked about interviews and how important it is for someone to see you for the first time, because it's kind of automatic how people just judge you like immediately based off how you look, your body language, and your facial expressions. But it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, first impressions leave like the biggest impact on a person. Like if you show up poorly dressed in an interview, they're gonna probably not want to hire you.
Yeah.
Due to like, oh, okay, this person probably doesn't either work enough, they don't probably take care of themselves, or something like that. Where if you're like dressed in like a suit and tie and you're like very formal for like a place that of course requires it, they're gonna be like, okay, this person probably is responsible. They look like they take care of like themselves and their life. Like first impressions say a lot about your character and how much you care for the event, in my opinion.
Yeah. And just
And schools are no different.
no.
Like the first impression that you give, like especially the kids when you go into their class for the first time, if you're new at least, it like, because kids are also very judgmental to begin with.
Yeah.
And if they already have like these groups or cliques, then it's like, okay, whatever I present myself as is probably gonna either get me into that group or maybe not even at all, and it causes stress
Mhm.
for people sometimes.
That kind of reminds me of when I moved to like a different like area. I grew up like in Canada for multiple years, and there was a period of time where I moved away from Vancouver to Montreal, and over there I went to like a high school, but around me it was a bunch of people that knew each other already since like elementary or middle school. And I think that's the most difficult like situation to like fit in with people, unless you meet other people that are also there for the first time. At
Yeah.
least that becomes like the easiest, because then you both relate on like, oh, I'm also a little bit awkward and this is a new situation and I don't
Yeah.
really know much of anyone else like here. But first impressions really just, I think, with working on it and trying to feel like a little less like nervous about it, is honestly just, to me, put on like the best thing that feels you like makes you feel comfortable, and just really try to be there in the moment. Like I know that sounds like a bit difficult, and like I feel like there should be like an even easier like way of explaining it, but I feel like if you're just being yourself,
Yeah.
and you're being casual and you're nice with everyone, and maybe you go and like make the first move, it says a lot about a person if you go out and like
Yeah.
you're asking things and you're getting to know people. Because
Yeah.
then if you're getting to know people, that already feels like it adds on to your character, and like, oh, they're interested in getting to know me and the school and stuff. They seem really cool. And then I think you can find more people that way to talk to.
Yeah, because sometimes when just taking that initiative to talk to the new people, they seem like, oh, this person actually wants to talk to us. They're like not that shut off person.
Yeah.
And it may like show sometimes that this person like is actually kind of interesting. Maybe you want to get to know them a bit better. Because like when you're like this, at least in my experience, when I was this shut off kid, no one really came up to talk to me because I didn't look approachable. I looked like I wanted to either run away from every situation or just wanted to not be there at all. And I understand that can sometimes be kind of intimidating when wanting to get friends.
Yeah.
So taking that initiative to go to people like, hi, would you like to be friends? I have these interests and maybe I think we could get along.
Mhm.
They're gonna be like, oh, this person actually is kind of cool. It's maybe interesting to be friends with them.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that also kind of
Yeah.
adds on to the old anxiety of getting into new friend groups in school, especially because
Yeah. But
hard.
But I think the biggest thing to take away from that is that if you try Because as a kid, it is a lot easier for, like, you to just go say hi. Like, me as a kid, I was so social. I'd be like, hi, can we be friends? I could just immediately. But I get, like, getting older, it becomes weird because you could just approach and they're just not going to respond. Or if they're going to brush you off.
Yeah.
And,
or like be like fake polite and then never talk to you again.
Yeah, but if they brush you off, it just means that they're not the people for you.
No.
It's that simple. They do not work for you. But if you struggle with being completely direct, something that worked a lot for me growing up was that, honestly, this is a little creepy, but I would kind of just find someone that seemed interesting, and I kind of, like, watched out for certain things they would mention or look at, and if I find something that I'm interested in or I connect with, and that can be even from someone I'm not even paying attention to, if I hear a conversation happen, then I'm like, oh, I also really like this thing. I then would try to bring it up or engage that person, either in that moment or at a different time when I'm like, hey, I heard that you were talking about this earlier, and I thought that's really cool. I really like that too. And that immediately just gets you into, like, the conversation and the mood and the flow of it together, and I think that also really helps if you don't want to immediately be the one to ask, like, hey, thought you were really cool, wanted to get to know you and talk, so on. Like, I get that one. That is a lot harder compared to just keeping an eye out and, like, listening.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I never really went up to people after grade, like, 3. Because when I first moved schools back in first grade, I talked to absolutely everyone in my class. We had a huge clique problem. Like, we had these, like, this group, we had that group, and, like, we had the popular kids, the quiet kids, whatever. I was a part of everyone. I wanted friends so bad. I just went up to talk to everyone, and I just had a great time. But after that, I never went up to people again after I moved schools, because I was like, okay, these people already know each other. Sure, I've known them before I moved, because I moved back to the school I used to go to. And then I was like, okay, maybe they've changed. Maybe they won't like me as a person. Maybe I've changed too much. It creates a whole anxiety when you try to get friends with people you used to know. Especially when they've already, like, changed as people and as, like, classmates and all.
Yeah.
But they still ended up accepting me, because I was like, hello, would you like to be friends?
Yeah.
Hello, you used to know me when I was a kid. I haven't changed that much, I promise.
Yeah, but, like, that was good.
Yeah,
you're, like, actually trying your approach.
Then I moved schools again, and they were like, actually, no, we don't like you.
Yeah, but that just means
that just means they didn't appreciate me for who I was as a person, which I respect. They have their own things, I have my own things. It just ties back into this whole mentality of not everyone has to like me.
Yeah.
Only those who I actually care about, I want them to like me. Because if they don't, then, like, that's on me. But, like, if people I don't care about, why would I care about why would I care about their criticisms about me?
Yeah.
When I don't like them? It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I get it's a whole stress of, oh god, they don't like me. Did I do something wrong? Did I upset them some way? No, not everyone has to like you. Which is, like, scary when you move around so much.
Yeah, it's hard to accept. I think especially for, like, us who were very used to just being friendly and working pretty well with everyone, that finding out that someone just doesn't like you, it, like, sucks thinking of that, because it's like, oh, but usually everyone is completely okay with me. I didn't know I was a problem.
Yeah.
But apparently,
Yeah.
people are different. That's what makes us interesting and unique. We're all diverse.
Which is, thank God, because if everyone was the same, it'd just be a very bland and monotone society.
It would be very boring.
It'd be very boring.
Very boring. But we like interesting people.
Like, if someone just clearly expresses that they don't like me, I'm just not gonna care.
Yeah.
Because, sure, I get along with everyone, but if you, like, don't like me, then I'm just not gonna talk to you. Simple.
Yeah.
I care about my friends. I care about my loved ones. Don't care about anyone else. If they get hurt or need help, sure, I'll help. But it's not on a personal level.
Yeah, no.
I'm helping you because you're a human who hasn't done me wrong.
Yeah.
It's respect.
Yes. As
Which,
everyone should have.
honestly, has eased my anxiety about being around many people at the same time so much. Because as soon as I put down the whole, I want everyone to like me. I want everyone to respect me as a person. As soon as I put down that mentality, I've just simply not cared about people's view of me.
That's good.
I started expressing the things I like. I started dressing the way I like. I started not caring about people's like opinions of my interests anymore.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like something I like, I don't care. That's on you. We just don't have the same interest. But it's helped with the whole stress of having to move around so much. Because as soon as I figured out that people at my old school didn't like me, I was like, okay, I don't care about you either. See ya. And I left.
Yeah.
And then I found you guys.
Yay. Great. But it does become easier with more practice.
Yeah.
If you're like constantly like trying your hardest to, honestly, for anything, even with small little habits, if you keep putting on the practice of making a change, then you will.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole concept of anything, really.
Yes.
As long as you practice something, you will master it eventually.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you take piano. The more you practice, the better you get.
Yeah.
First you practice one hand, then you practice the other, and then eventually you practice both, and then you're done.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with social, like, interactions, in my opinion.
Yeah, it works with all of it. One thing I think also helps with starting to, like, get yourself introduced and meeting new people at a completely new school would be joining clubs. If there's clubs and there's something that you really like, you know for a fact that you going there, you're gonna meet also other people that like the same thing. And that makes it even easier for you to introduce yourself to these people.
Because that shared interest will help a long way.
Yeah.
Because then, like, sure, you might not have many other interests, but that can open the conversation to, hey, I know you like this. Is there a possibility you also like that?
Yeah.
Because they're usually talked about in the same, like, space. And maybe they're, yeah, let's talk about it. Or, no, but can you educate me about it? Can you talk about it with me?
Yeah.
And it's like, it just it helps conversation so much. Clubs are the biggest lifesaver.
They really
both
are.
Both in and outside of school.
And you also, like, meet those people, but then maybe you might meet a friend of theirs.
Yeah.
Or someone else. Like, you might bump into them in the hallway or something. They're like, oh, yeah, this is a friend of mine that I have. And you guys apparently get along very well. And then soon enough, you're, like, really close friends. Honestly, it's unexpected who you meet, but those are generally the best, like, or, like, a good way of starting it if you...
It is. Like, the creative writing club in our school currently, or the one we used to have.
Yeah.
I went there because I had nothing better to do. I wanted people who, like, also like writing, like, just their personal interest.
Yeah.
And I met so many cool people there. Like, I didn't have the exact same interests as everyone, but we still had a good fun time talking about crazy stories we would make up on the spot. Like, we went in a row, one person saying a word, and we made a whole story on that, and it was so fun.
That is a lot of fun.
And it's like, it relieved so much stress I had about approaching new people.
Yeah.
Because I found new people through that club. I talked to them, I got their Instagram, it was very fun. And we kind of just chatted, and even if we saw each other in the hallway, she's like, oh my god, hi, how's that thing you're doing going? And they're like, good, so how's that thing? And it opened so many, like, new connections.
Yeah.
And outside of school is fun too, because then you can, like, meet new people who are not even associated with your old people. And then you're like, oh my god, people out there exist. They're fun.
Yes.
Not everyone's out to get me all the time. It's really fun.
Yeah, and I've had, like, similar experiences. Our school also, like, yearly has a dance competition during around this period of time, like, in fall. And the first year I was there, I went there and I met, like, so many new people. So many people I didn't expect to meet, but I put myself out there and I decided to, like, you know, actually speak and communicate, bring up my ideas, because the whole point of it is that you're, like, creating a dance. And I put myself out there and I met a bunch of people, even if we didn't fully connect or relate to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it's really nice because then sometimes you'll randomly walk in the hallway and you'll see them and just be like, hi.
Hi.
Or just, you know, it's either that simple or, like, you're mention something randomly at that, like, meeting, and you just randomly bring up with that person being like, oh, how's that going? Like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
Just, it really starts, like, nice in that way and slower, and then you slowly get into that pace, or maybe quickly, depending on your luck and your situation, that you'll find someone that you feel really close to, or a group as well. It really depends.
Personally, it all comes down to surrounding yourself by the right people.
Yeah.
Because if you surround yourself with people who are constantly negative all the time, they'll only make you feel like you have to help them in some way, or that's make you feel worse.
Yeah.
Well, if you're surrounding yourself with, like, positive people, for example, you're like, oh my god, maybe the world isn't so dark.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fun being around them. And if you eventually meet their friends, it's like, oh my god, there's more of these people. And, like, it's just so stress relieving being around people who are constantly, either not constantly, but, like, they're happy to be around you, they share positive things.
Yeah.
And that, but also, like, of course, they're comfortable enough to be not okay in front of you. Because, like, that vulnerability between friends, to me, is at least really important.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. When it comes to, like, mindset and unsure, like, if you're unsure if you're with the right people, keep in mind that if you're hanging around this group or this one person and you're constantly feeling negative either about yourself or your life, it may not be the best thing for you. Because a lot of the times we influence each other.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. And people that usually have, like, that louder sense of negativity does influence you to also be a lot more negative compared to positive, especially if you envy them a lot. And if you realize that you're getting caught in, like, that negativity, then it's best for you to move away, like, slowly, or try to engage with speaking with other people and finding a reliable space where you can find more positivity and comfort into a space that you just fit in a lot more.
Yeah, there's a saying called green with envy.
Yeah.
Because being envious of someone who you consider a friend is, like, it's, to an extent, it can get very unhealthy very quickly.
Yeah.
Because it can then sour your relationship with the person. It can also affect your, like, general mood even when you're not with them. It can affect your grades if you let it go far enough.
Yeah.
So you need to always be aware of yourself and how it affects your personal relationships. Because I know personally, recently, I've felt very envious of my friends who are in relationships, because I'm very... I think it's a very, like... I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
But also, like... I hear about it so constantly, I'm like, oh my god, that seems so fun, I want that. Yeah. And I let it affect my friendships to a point where I started being negative around them, and I didn't treat them fairly.
Yeah.
Which was very bad on my part. And of course I'm trying to fix that. But it's a whole matter of having to see clearly of how are my actions affecting the people I care about. Because if you eventually lose that friend, you're just going to go back into an anxious state of, oh my god, am I going to find friends again?
Yeah.
Am I going to, like, how is it going to affect me as a person? How is it going to affect my future relationships or my schoolwork? So being aware of yourself and your stress levels especially is really important, especially in school. Because school itself is also very stressful.
Yeah. And if you have the possibility of talking to someone about it, and...
or talking to the friend.
Yeah,
like,
if you're able to talk to them directly, but if you don't feel like you can, like, if you have the possibility of talking to either, like, a therapist or a teacher that you really like, even your parents, if you have, like, a close enough relationship and you feel comfortable talking to them about that, then that's really great. And if you can just talk directly to the friend that just already says something completely big about your friendship, you are able to actually talk to them.
It clears up any misunderstandings that could possibly happen. Like, hey, I'm sorry for treating this way. It was not fair. It was because of blah blah blah. But it was still not fair. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, something else I also wanted to mention with stress and anxiety with first days of school is coming back to school the next year. Because these anxieties, instead of being more connected of who am I meeting, it's more of like, what assignments do I have due already? Yeah. And we are both IB students, and
IB's fun.
Yeah, we go through 2 years, and on our second year we immediately have like this really big paper to do. If you're not an IB student, it's this 4,000 word essay, and you write it from like earlier in the year, like around, was it around March we started talking about it?
We started talking about it way earlier, but I think we started writing it around March, April-ish.
Yeah, something like that. But usually the due date is around October or November. I think it really depends on your school. It might be different, but for us, that's at least how it works. And so they give us the entire summer to write, but let's be honest, majority of people
They did not touch it.
Don't really touch it at all because it's summer. You want to
enjoy
relax and give yourself a break.
I think people like looked into it and like looked into things they could use for it, but I doubt many people at all
actually
wrote anything on it. Like, props to the people who did, though, because that is time consuming.
It is extremely time consuming and very, very tiring.
4,000 words is a big number to hit.
Yes.
Thankfully, it's the limit, not the minimum.
Yeah, if it was the minimum, I'd be so tired.
I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, but overall, when getting back into school, then that, like, stress of just, I have assignments to get done. I already have a bunch of these things coming up. And us being, like, in our last year, we're, like, seniors, right?
Yeah.
Is just a very big pressure because a lot of us are either gonna take a year off after high school.
Or go straight into uni.
And that's a big pressure for those people, especially because applications do generally start January. I think it depends where you pick to go.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
But it's also, like, I know some of our classmates also have, like, actual jobs to do.
Yeah.
So the people who do have jobs at the same time, I cannot imagine. Because I've talked to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have, like, this job that they mostly do on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how, but they're currently both killing the job and school. And I'm just, like, amazed. Because I know how much the stress, like, influences their personal life and their school life.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my god. I would implode if I did both at the same time, which I have to do soon.
Yeah.
But it's having the stress of going back to school, going back to work, going back to, like, having an actual life again. It's very, it's very, like, stressful, especially when you've just come back from vacation.
Yeah, and falling back to routine.
That's good, though. Routine's good.
It is extremely good to have routine, but when you, like, sometimes fall out of it, which I think a lot of us during this age do.
Yeah.
During the summer, we kind of fall out of it. We go and have fun and do our things. Maybe go and sleep, like, 1 or 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, at least. And, you know, just falling back to routine is just... It's not fun. Because you lose it for a bit, but at least falling back to it compared to completely starting it from fresh, it's not as bad. And, you know, basically, I would recommend to don't really stress out on it that much. Focus on prioritizing, like, what you have, like, at school. For me, it works best when I take every single subject I have and just write down everything that needs to be done and what due dates. And then I can organize the next, like, day or two what I think I should prioritize to, like, do work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can take, like, a little bit of time. You don't have to spend too much time studying. Like, if you are not, like, capable of spending, like, 3 to 4 hours a day studying, there is no need for that. You can really just spend, like, 1 hour a day or every other day working on something. As long as you structure it and you make sure that you do get your things done on time, or at least the most you can, to be sent. Especially at this last year. It's like you really need to stick with, like, your deadlines and everything if you really want your grades and to then go to uni right after.
Yeah, because you kind of need to score well on the IB, because those 45 points, you want to hit the maximum as you can get.
Yeah, you want to aim high, and I think that also just goes for most schools, but you genuinely want to aim really high and
aim for the top
get what
even.
you can. Yeah,
but
and hopefully that's a motivation.
To get there, I think structure is the most important thing, because if you're like very unbalanced about, like, life, like, you spend all of your time, for example, gaming instead of doing actual schoolwork, of course you're gonna fall behind, because then you're, like, not focusing what you should be, and then your mind is occupied with, like, not school related things, and then you're like, oh my god, hold on, what are we supposed to be focusing on?
Yeah.
And then you go back into that cycle of stress. But if you're structured, you can minimize it, and then you'll be like, okay, this assignment is due then. I can do this amount of studying, have this amount of free time, then go back to studying, and, like, it just generally is better, especially for the IB students, because God knows we have a lot of deadlines.
Way too many.
A bit too many.
Just
a tad.
Just
tiny bit.
Just tiny bit.
No, but having that routine, especially the one
Yeah.
I've seen your routine, it's structured. Whether you always
For
stick
me,
to it.
look, yeah, I will be honest, I don't always stick to it, and that's okay. I've
But
learned
try
to just accept it. It's like, okay, I at least put the effort
Mhm.
to putting it together and thinking about my
Yeah.
day, and I tried it, and if it didn't work, I go for the next day.
Yeah.
Some people can structure for like a whole week or even their entire month.
That's impressive, though.
It is extremely impressive. If you can stick with it like that for like a whole week or more, I am impressed. Because I cannot stick with the same routine every day. So every night I write something completely new or extreme or like similar in some ways.
Yeah, because you usually have like a morning routine, daytime, and a night one, I think.
I mostly have like a morning one. If I have a night one, it's usually because I have work to do. And so I then spend a little bit of time, like free time I have in between classes or in class if we're not talking about anything and I'm good with homework and stuff. I will take some time to just quickly note down things I have to do at home. And that won't even be just homework. Sometimes it's normal things like vacuuming or
Yeah,
laundry.
it's just like general home stuff as well.
Yeah. Because although, yes, do prioritize and think about like your schooling, but also
Don't neglect your home life.
do not neglect your home life and your personal life.
Because sometimes self-care is the most important thing.
Yes.
Because it all ties back into stress management. Because if you don't take care of your stress, it's also going to impact your physical health. Because I know personally, when I get super stressed, I am much more prone to getting sick.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we saw just a few days ago, I was severely sick with a horrendous throat.
Yeah, but it's also the season coming up.
It is the season, yes, but for me it's usually stress related, and I start feeling worse physically, which means I can't catch up on my schoolwork, which means stress management needs to be brought back.
Yeah.
Because then the less stressed you are, the more you can focus, the more you can take care of your deadlines,
Yeah.
and the more you can also focus on your personal life and not just pour everything into your schoolwork life.
It's rough.
It is rough.
It's a
So,
start.
I think finding someone to talk to, like,
Mm-hmm.
that can actually listen and maybe even offer some useful advice, like a parent, a good friend, someone who's experienced life more, or if you have the sort of resources, a therapist,
Yeah.
because they can actually help you organize and schedule and manage all the stressful things in life.
Yeah.
Because I know, I for example have you, I have my older sister, I have like this one trusted friend who's right out there. I have my parents, thankfully, so I can just talk to them like, hey, this is really stressful. Do you know how I can manage this better?
Yeah.
Do you know how I can maybe like go about this any different? Just it can like really help to gain a new perspective into how to lessen your own stress so it doesn't burden you, your schoolwork, your friends, anyone.
Yeah. Just having a space to talk about that, very great.
If you can manage it on your own, impressive.
Impressive.
But that
Good
doesn't
on
work
you.
for everyone.
Keep going, and also maybe even inspire your own friends and be like, hey, I'm here if anything.
Yeah.
Like I'll like notice, maybe you notice them in class like fidgeting or something, or you
Or
know,
just
anything that
generally
they're
seem
feeling
down.
uncomfortable. If you like notice it, which I'm gonna be honest, it tends to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But it's usually just dissociation. Majority of the time, it's usually
Yeah.
just like
They
they're
don't
not
seem-
really looking at the teacher
Yeah, they
or the
don't seem
whiteboard. They're
fully
kind of
there.
just like maybe looking down at their notebook, or they're just sketching. Like if it's just a little sketch of just like an actual like drawing, maybe they're
Yeah.
actually thinking about what they're drawing. But if it's like maybe like a couple
Like
like
doodles.
lines, they're either just on their own mind thinking about their own stuff or just any other stuff, or they're genuinely just not really present. So if you really
Yeah.
notice any of that going on in class or you just
Check in on
anywhere,
them.
do check up on them. Do check up on them
'Cause,
and
I
give
have-
them that space if you feel like you are doing well.
Yeah, because if you like have, of course, the mental capacity to ask your friends, yo, how are you doing? I notice you're feeling like at least different. You like acting kind of strange. Do you want to talk about it? I'm available. I have the mental capacity to talk about it if you would like to.
Yeah.
But of course, don't pressure them into anything because that can also worsen the whole thing.
Yeah.
Especially with school stress. Like it's just regular stress over assignments. Then they can like, yeah, like here's what I'm anxious about, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But also if it's personal, sometimes people just don't want to talk about it, which is fair.
And coming back to the schoolwork, if you have like ideas in mind or just some sort of routine but you're not really sure about it, if you have a secure place that you can talk to someone, do ask for their opinion.
Do it. It'll help you so
It'll make
much.
them like having and like a person's opinion, someone that you truly trust and you feel close to, answering like even the most basic stuff
Yes.
help and relieve you from so much for the rest of the day. Yeah.
Like,
Especially
it
if it's
helps.
yeah, especially when it's like those people that like will tell you, "Oh, there's something on your face." It's
Yeah.
such a nice appreciation when someone just
It's
is
like, "Oh my
like,
God,
"Oh, there's something."
Thank you.
Yeah, there's like, "Oh, there's like this little hair on your cheek."
Like, even eyelash right under your eye. Oh,
Yeah.
there.
Just usually
Like,
those people that
yeah.
like
People pay
answer to
attention.
anything. Yeah, people that yeah,
Like, if you pay attention to your friend, like, you might as well ask.
and that just means you have a good friend.
Yeah.
They're doing
Like,
well.
even if you don't ask, you can, like, show subtle ways that, like, you're there for them.
Yeah.
Because if your friend, like, sometimes when people are stressed, they don't look around at people and, like,
Mm-hmm.
wonder if they can help. They just kind of feel shut off.
Yeah.
At least that's how I usually feel. I don't always go out and ask because I always feel like a burden. Or, like, not always. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, it's kind of silly to worry about this, so I might as well not ask my friends. But, like, if they're showing, like, small, like, interest in how I feel, like, just checking up on me or, like,
yeah.
offering comfort even though I didn't ask for it, it's very nice. Because it shows them they actually care about me.
Yeah.
And they want me to feel okay again. It's like just regularly checking on your friend, like, hey, are you stressed? Are you good? No? Cool. If you are, talk to me.
Yeah, and also keeping in mind if that's a way that you want to be treated and you want to be feel that way in a friend group, then or like in a friendship of yours, then show that to the people. That's also a really big thing.
Yeah.
I think with introductions, like was mentioned earlier, if you treat people and you talk to them in a way that you would also want to be treated back, then you'll most likely get that.
Yeah, and if they don't treat you that way back, that's on them.
Again, you both just do not work.
Yeah,
It's
that's on them, honestly, because if they don't treat you with respect enough to show, like, that they're there for you, that's not your friend.
Yeah.
That's just the person you get along with. Simple.
yeah, that's the person that you like.
Because, like, I had this friend who I always checked in on.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like, asking, like, hey, are you okay? I'm always here if you want to talk about it. Never got that in return unless I was really actually showing genuine signs of, like, to the point where I was worrying my other friends.
Yeah.
Only then did he check up on me, but I realized, okay, maybe this friend is not worth keeping.
Yeah.
Might as well not talk to them anymore because I want to surround myself with people who actually, care.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure that you're in a good space with people, and I do understand the feeling of being alone.
Yeah,
If you're ever in that situation, feeling isolated is hell. And if you cannot find anything at your school, then look outside. There are many communities out there that you can go to. Some that I've considered, for example. I've considered Dungeons and Dragons, for example, because they have a bunch of spaces for that. You can even do, like, exercise-related situations.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes taking care of your physical health will help your mental health.
Yeah, there's clubs for literally anything outside as well. It doesn't have to be just a club in a school. You can find basically any sort of place and society that you can fit into, anywhere.
Yeah, and there's also, you can also just go on a walk. Sometimes getting the fresh air, seeing new scenery,
Yeah,
especially if it's nature related, usually helps.
helps, reduces stress, gives you time to, like, think.
Yeah, especially if you're going on your own, you can also just listen to a podcast. Our podcast, maybe, I don't know.
Just maybe.
You can also listen to a YouTube video or, like, some music that you enjoy. Just generally taking your mind off every situation, or not, these situations you think about can help.
Yeah.
Because then you're not actively thinking about it. You're not making it worse in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And also talking to other people about it can help reduce the risk you've created in your brain. Because our brains tend to over dramatize situations.
Yeah.
And making them seem a lot worse than they are.
Yeah. Well, that was good. Just one quick thing I wanted to mention previously when we were talking about just studying and university and stuff. Usually, at least for our school, not only do we have a counselor who can talk about you, about mental health with you, but we also have one that talks about university and so on. So if you're ever questioning and you don't understand how that system works, or you want to go abroad, like, please go and consider talking to them. I know
Always talk to them.
how it's nervous to do that, and if you honestly, I think if you're scared to just mention it on the spot, and you want them to start the conversation, I would consider that on the email asking for a meeting to mention what you want to talk about, because then they can ask you and be like, okay, so what exactly, like, universities were you having in mind? Or, so is just this the kind of thing you want to go into and study? Or is it just abroad? Like, they'll ask you, like, questions if you mention it in the, like, email, or you mention to, like, book a
Also,
meeting.
that relating back to the whole our brains over dramatizing our situation.
Yeah.
It's their literal job to help you make you feel better.
Yes.
And to figure out that situation with you, to not make you stressed about making a choice too early or too late or whatever.
Yeah, and they know how the system works. So they'll give you, like, a genuine and rational response to what you're asking for, because they don't have any bias towards you.
Especially the university counselor.
Yeah.
I know that when we had our school before I think he left, he was always very calm, he was very collected.
Yeah.
And even if you're stressed, he was like, okay, let's go through your options, let's see what you would need to acquire this goal. And then he would walk us through step by step to make sure that we weren't overstressed, that we weren't playing it up in our heads, making sure that we're all making choices that we wouldn't regret later on.
Yeah.
Counselors do the same thing. They help you just realize situation's not actually that bad. Sure, could be, but this is a way you can make it better, or you can make it less dramatic in your head. They just generally are there to help you.
Yeah. And
it is scary to reach out, trust me. I know. I've had my fair share of incidences with school therapists, but they're there to help you, and it is very scary to talk to them. But they're there. They're there. Might as well.
Yeah, it's school provided. It goes into...
It's free.
In some places...
In school, it's free.
If you're paying for your school, it's a whole different thing. And then there's also taxes. But we're not getting into that.
That's not our topic.
That is not our topic.
That's for an economy podcast.
No.
That's not us.
We would not fit in at all.
Anyways.
May be beneficially on me. Anyways, yeah. Take that opportunity. And overall, I hope you guys took something nice from this episode. It was really fun. It was our first episode. It's a new experience for sure, but it's completely new. But it's
fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And also we can talk about this kind of stuff because we do in our regular life anyway.
Yeah, we're ourselves are good friends.
And also, they were roommates.
And yes, we do live together as well. Yes. So that's a lot of fun for us. And
definitely
difficult. Honestly,
very difficult.
We can definitely bring up in an episode in the future.
We definitely fight a lot, but that's for different
if you guys ever want to do that, you can probably answer on a comment. I'll probably put it on Spotify, or you can mention it on YouTube as well. Comment if you'd like to for us to talk about what it's like being roommates with
and how that affects the psyche.
Your friend that you also study with. So you're seeing them like all the time.
And also you both study psychology.
Oh boy, you might as well start reading each other at this point.
Who says we aren't already?
Oh, that's true.
That's a topic for a later episode.
It is for a later episode, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this first episode.
I hope it was as fun for you as it was for us.
Yeah, it really was. Okay, well, goodbye.